Okay. Hello, guys. Long time no see you guys. So it's been a very long time since our last AMA, right? So currently we have, I can see that we have more than 35 people in the AMA right now. Hi, can you turn off the mic? Turn off the mic. Okay, so as you guys know that today in the AMA today we have two very special guests. It's Philip come from C Labs and Steven is founder of GaFin. And today I'm Brian. I will be the host of the AMA today. So the topic is very interesting and it's quite basic, but I think everyone is very interesting in this topic. There's the gaming of layer one. How is the layer one impact of gaming, and especially how we see network will impact to the gaming landscape. Okay. Okay, so I think we will let Steven to introduce a little bit about himself first. Steven, can you introduce about yourself to the new person who is haven't attend to the our last AMA?
Yeah. Nice to see you guys. Long time no see. Yeah, our community. Yeah, I'm Steve, and I'm founder and pro of GaFin. And so, yeah, glad to be here right now. So, yeah, keep going. And I want to say to our communities, we still working hard, and still learning and still building for our community. And the next step after GaFin side, we want to provide for our community the value about the GaFin ticket and loyalty point. And yeah, and glad to be a collaborator and announce. Yeah, I think this is a big announcement and important announcement for our milestone to be collaborator with Say Lab. Yeah, now see you.
Okay, very interesting. So how about Philip? Can you introduce a little bit about yourself and how is your feelings when you first time appear in Gaffin community?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be on today. And give a quick background about myself and then maybe a high level overview on Say. I've been in, the crypto and DeFi space for pretty much the past 3 years, working as a growth lead primarily. Started off my career joining a founding team on Solana, where we were building cross-chain infrastructure. I served as the head of marketing and growth for that team. After that experience, I went on to Trader Joe, to help contribute to the go-to-market strategies for the multi-chain expansion efforts of the DEX, deploying it on Arbitrum and BNB chain from a marketing perspective. And now I'm a part of the Say Labs growth team, where I'm mainly responsible for ecosystem growth. So a lot of what I do is hop on the phone with founders, ecosystem projects, community members, and KOLs to try to see how we can further empower their growth, ensure that everyone has all the resources and support they need to really, thrive within the ecosystem, and that, they have all access gaming platform tokens. So I think that's like one important thing that really differentiates Say. It's having optimized with like 5 or 6 optimizations to the tech stack that really empower our builders to provide the best trading experience to their users.
Okay, so very details. Because I'm very interested in C Lab because in C Network because I saw that C is the top layer one project that have the fastest like the process have the fastest transactions and other stuff right now in the market, right? And because I know that your experience have been working in many projects like GHO or Solana, so why you choose C Lab as a part of your career right now? So any difference between other layer one project at the moment?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think like before hopping in like on the differences, one of the reasons that I chose to join Say Labs was kind of like that opportunity to work for layer one was very attractive to me. And I really could, when I hopped on the phone with a lot of the core team within Say Labs before joining, I really kind of like bought into their vision and their plan for the future, which was something that I think really focused on what was important for both the builders, community members, and for the ecosystem. So it was something that it was kind of a culture that I can see myself fitting in the sense of, just like putting our heads down and kind of addressing some of the major pain points across like all of the different stakeholders and really trying to address those. And differentiating Say from other like layer ones and layer twos. There's a lot of things to be really excited about with Say, like besides like the amazing projects building in our ecosystem kind of across all of the pillars of Web3, whether it's DeFi, NFTs, gaming, or social. The infrastructure layer offers developers a really I guess like cool opportunity to build fast, safe, and decentralized applications that I think will operate better on Say essentially than any other L1 or L2. And Say was also thinking about L2s are, but I think we started to see now with kind of like with increased activity comes increased fees, and kind of still a lot of the scalability issues plaguing a lot of those L2s. So I think for our founders and our team, it was really important to build from scratch to really be able to address like the root problem of scalability and just like overall efficiency of approving and processing transactions.
Okay, very very interesting. For Steven part, I think I have more questions about C network later, but let's move to Steven first. So Steven, can you introduce a little bit about GaFin upcoming activities and update some big news that we have announced last week?
Yeah. Beside the big announcement, we collaborated with Say Network and provide and support the gaming industry side. In the last week, we also had the most important announcement of the official Go Live product. I think everyone to be received the news, and this is, we call that is the GaFin extend. And with the publication of two key features, quest system and game hub, yeah, this is our key feature. And currently, we will continue to grow our community along with onboarding high quality Web3 games on our game hub, and trying to promote our vision of becoming our Web3 game publisher in the market, in the Web3 market, and support. And we also supporting many gaming projects on our partner, our ecosystem, and gaming projects on Say Lab, and bring them to the community, bring our community to the many high quality projects. Yeah, and and beside that, I think by the way, as for the benefit and value for our community, when using GaFin platform to enjoy the game, we are also trying to gather comments from our community, and we'll announce soon the benefit and value for all owner GaFin ticket. We will announce soon. And addition, we will also collaborate with Google Cloud. Maybe in the next month. Maybe in the next month, we have collab with Google Cloud, Tencent, SMU from Singapore, and allows to organize the event gaming for our partner in Singapore in September. Yeah.
Yeah, so very detailed roadmap about upcoming event of GaFin. As you guys have all know that GaFin focusing in gaming, and we also have a game hub to listing the game on there, and then the users they can play the game. But I want to ask this question for Philip. So from the perspective of a builder and someone have been explore a lot of gaming project that wants to build on C network. So what do you think the future of gaming, and what do you think about the Web3 gaming will be come back? Because we all know that last year is a crazy year for the gaming, Web3 gaming already. So how is your feelings about the future of this year, and can you estimate the time for the explosion come back?
Yeah, definitely. The gaming ecosystem is one that I'm like almost most excited about, just because of kind of the overlap that I think it has and the utility it can bring to Web2 gaming. Say Labs, I mean, say the Say ecosystem actually has some very exciting players right now building kind of the groundwork for a gaming ecosystem to thrive. So when I look at projects like Tatami that are, gaming publishers that have the ability to bring kind of Web2 games on chain and have them leverage a lot of like, the advantages of being on chain, it makes me very excited. I think one like very clear and very cool example of this is their first game that they published, which was it's called Tetris, which essentially it's like a spin-off of Tetris, which is like the game that everyone knows and loves, but has kind of like a degen like Web3 spin to it, and it's fully on chain, has like an exciting aspect to it where you can like bet on like the traditional game, and I think it kind of reminds me or makes me think about what the transition will look like in the future in terms of bringing more and more people on chain, and like really leading to like the next billion users for crypto. I think it will be taking a Web2 game or taking something that people are very familiar with, and then having it leverage all that blockchain technology has to offer, all that Say has to offer from the infrastructure layer to really just optimize and improve the gaming experience. I think that's what it will all come down to. We'll see a lot of like the complexities be abstracted, and it will really just be an enhanced gaming experience. And then people will have the choice, to either play the games how they've always, or maybe try out a new game that they don't even know how it leverages on-chain stuff, but it does in the back end. And it will just really bring an enhanced gaming experience, leveraging a lot of the stuff that kind of makes games special, which is like that community aspect, that trading aspect, whether maybe, like you're trading Fortnite skins or you're just interacting with people in a pre-game lobby. It's a lot of those things that like I grew up on. And I think that really excited to see kind of like the parallels there between like the nature of what makes like traditional games special, and also the capabilities that blockchain and Say can bring to those games.
Yeah, but I understand that the game is very promising. But do you think that the users base from Web2, I mean the traditional players, will they try the Web3 games? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the answer is yes. And I think it kind of hinges on one very important factor, and it will be that a lot of the complexities will be abstracted from the front end. And when I say abstracted, like when I say complexities, I mean like, kind of the siloed user experience when it comes to creating a wallet or like, creating your account. It needs to be much more of a seamless flow. So when you think about onboarding new people into crypto or onboarding new people into Web3 games, it needs to be almost as seamless as someone opening an app on their iPhone and, setting up a new account and then just being able to play almost right away. People aren't very patient, and especially the younger generations, which are kind of dominating like the gaming landscape. They don't have much patience for inferior user experiences, essentially. And I can honestly relate to it. Like when I hop on an application and there's like a 5-step process to set up my account, I'm, just less excited and less motivated. I'm like, I have to really want to play that game, versus, just hopping on, let's say Fortnite, where it takes very little steps to get me in a game lobby and get me playing the game almost immediately, get me interacting with others, and then competing with those type of applications for the younger generation's attention, essentially. So I think those are like very important things that like if a participant has to go and create a MetaMask wallet and then learn how to connect their wallet and then learn about all the safety implications that they have to consider to not get their wallet drained, then it's like, man, like that's a very siloed process. So I look forward to continuing to see a lot of like players, both on the application layer and on the infrastructure layer, make the overall user experience a lot more seamless to really onboard those crypto newbies, is how I like to call them.
Yeah, so the quality of the game is a very important factor, but I think the user flow, as you have mentioned before, will be more important than the game. So the user, they have to access to the game first. The flow must be the easiest for them, so then they can experience the game later. So the game quality is not the only factors uh, to track the users, right? Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
okay. So let's move on to Steven. So as a founder of a game publisher platform, so GaFin have have censored a lot of games to verify the quality of the gaming project before list on GaFin Game Hub. So how do you feelings about the situations of the game at that moment, and what type of game does user tend to play? I mean that what kind of games, like there's many games in the market right now, casual game, hyper casual game, triple A games. So what kind of games do you feel is have the most potential so that the game developers they can focusing to build?
Yeah, in my eyes, the upcoming gaming projects will be maybe will be applied to AI to increase the performance as well as the game experience, and that's in my long-term personal view. And in addition, the transfer between traditional game and to Web3 is standard to happen. Like example, in this case of Netmarble, the big gaming corporate in Korea or Tencent. In addition to maintain and develop the traditional segment in their ecosystem, they are also gradually launching Web3 product and Web3 gaming on their side. And as for what specific game general or kind of game user will focus on, I mean that each and depend game type will have the different set of user or audience. And in general, user need to be receive the quality product from the game studio and project. And this cutback project also start happening. Yeah. And the next generation of Web3 gaming will focus more on real value and will not to switch the traders but gamers of traditional games. Yeah, and what I was mean is the not have the exactly kind of the game. The market will be focusing or the developer will be focusing, but depend the each kind of the game. They will also always have the audience or the audience exactly audience. Yes.
Okay, so I got it. So different games will have a different strategy and different target users, so we cannot say that which game is better than another game, right? So how about your feelings, Philip? So currently, I know that many project is applied on site at this moment, but what kind of games do you see that the game developers and the builders they focusing on the most, like casual game or hyper casual game or any kind of games? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it kind of falls under two buckets. The first would be more of like the casual, I don't want to say basic, but more casual, like not complex, single player games, like kind of the
Yeah,
Tetris
yeah,
game that I'm is like a
yeah.
good
But
example of
but
that.
casual game don't have anything wrong. Yeah, casual
Yeah,
game
yeah.
is just
Or
basically
the games that
yeah,
people know and love, like kind of like the
yes,
Tetris, like Flappy Bird, like kind of like those OG games that maybe like we grew up on before all these like amazing games
yeah,
came out. And then the second bucket is kind of those games that maybe you would see in an esports tournament where it's like you can team up with others. I like what comes to mind is like the Fortnite, Call of Duty, Overwatch type games, which is like more competition based, more team based, I guess like first shooter, like a lot of different just team oriented games. I think those are also like probably like the most popular games within the space, both mainly in Web 2, but also starting to see it unfold within Web 3. So yeah, across those two, and also just like anything in the middle as well. Those are the two that I've seen a lot of developers focus on at the moment, but I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing maybe like one that's in the intersection, between the two, where it kind of incorporates both. I think that would also be pretty exciting.
yeah. Okay, cool. Because I know that the casual game they have their benefits is they're very easy to engage to the users, especially Web2 users, and they can they can reach to any any users like the old one or the young one. But the AAA game is a little bit hardcore. They are hard to build and they're hard to acquire users because they just acquired like Gen Z users and the players they have played other games already, so they have familiar with kind of shooting games like that. So each game have cons and pros, so we cannot say which one is better. Okay, so very interesting. Okay, so this questions I want to ask Philip. As I have, according to my research, so same network have create a very so they have created infrastructure and service for the DeFi with the goal of building the best infrastructure for decentralized finance, increasing the data processing speed. So beside the DeFi, how can say network system help the GameFi? So can they process the speed of transactions or the gas fee reduce or some of the benefits say can provide for the gaming?
Exactly. Yeah. Like the two that you just mentioned there, two or three that you just mentioned there are definitely kind of the ones that first pop up. So in terms of like speed and then efficiency, which comes in with just cost, and also I guess the third most important would be the scalability of it. So like maybe you have a game that can operate in a quick speed and have the gas fees in a controllable manner. But when you onboard, what happens when you onboard another 10,000 or 100,000 or a million new players into the ecosystem, which is essentially the goal here? Like, how does that affect the speed of the game? How does it affect the cost that it takes to operate the game? And I think those are kind of two very important like considerations, because it's like it's an interesting dynamic where you can provide the infrastructure for a small group of players, but I mean, this is like kind of an issue that's been plaguing like the entire like Web3 ecosystem. Is like your goal is to bring on the next 10,000, 100,000 million users, but it's almost like to do so you need to have infrastructure that can scale. And this kind of applies to all the different pillars of Web3, whether it's gaming, as we're speaking about, or in DeFi or in NFTs. Like you need to be able to scale with your demand. And if you can't have like an infrastructure that allows developers to have like a viable, and when I say viable, it just means like it doesn't take a few minutes or hours to process a transaction, or it doesn't take $10 to $20 in gas fees, because that's going back to what I mentioned before about like user experience. Like that's exactly what will get a gamer to run right back to Web 2. And who can blame them? Like, why would they sacrifice their gaming experience to be on chain? They want to play games where it's going to be the best experience for them. So those are all like the major considerations and the things that SEI is really focusing on in the infrastructure and tech layer, to be able to provide our builders with that opportunity. Because in some some other infrastructures don't even offer the developers that chance. So like they won't even focus on building games like that.
Okay, so okay. So I know that you are the marketing and grow lead of SEI. So I think that you will have like hundreds of meeting a week and have you can meet many of the game projects. So do you have any like the advice for the builder?
And ensuring that ultimately whatever it is you're building, that it is aligned with what your community and what your potential users will find valuable. So I think that's like the first and foremost thing to do. And then the second piece of advice I give, which I see some projects that I've across ecosystems kind of struggle with, is trying to be too much for like you need to first focus on your like primary value proposition, or your primary use case. So if you're a game, focusing on like the specific game feature that you think will be the most valuable to your users. If you're a DeFi platform, like focusing on the specific trading activity that you want to be like the category leader in. And once you've dominated that, then you can pursue kind of extending your brand, extending the protocol to other use cases. I think that's one thing that, some protocols will try to be everything for everyone. And it becomes, a much more difficult go-to-market strategy, essentially. If you focus on one thing, do it very well and become the category leader in that. So when people think esports gaming on SEI, they think Fable. Like it has to be like you want to dominate like 2 or 3 words. And notice how I said esports gaming. So it's not just gaming, it's a specific type of gaming. Once you get that down and prove your credibility, then can come the opportunity to extend to other use cases, to other, sectors within the space. So I think those are the major, like the two major kind of pieces of advice and things that I've kind of learned from my past experiences across, various ecosystems within Web3.
Okay, how about Steven? What is your feelings about the builders right now, and what is your advice for them to building a good project in this moment, especially
Yeah,
in gaming? Yeah.
yeah, with the gaming and with the kind of gaming, I think they need to be safe their budget and cost for grow and for expand the market, because I have take a look and I meeting many people, many projects. They spend many too much the cost and the budget for build the infra for gaming, but they don't want to be figure out the good way to go to market strategy. Yeah, and I think the key here is the in Web3 industry very different with the traditional game. In traditional, they can have the advertising like Facebook or app store. They can boost app on top. But in the strategy for the marketing or for the growth in virtual industry is very different. Yeah, I have the same story and the same idea with Philip. Community first, and they need to build the community, and then they can expand or they can scale or their community the different way. But in the first, they need to be build the community, yeah, and to save their cost and budget in the bear market right now. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for a very good advice to the builders, communities, and the game developers. So I can see that in the chat right now there is a lot of questions because the time is not we don't have too much time. So I think let's move on to the question because they ask a lot. So I think the first question is for Say, and this is very interesting because he said that he's the users, very loyalty users, OG users from Say network. So they asked that he know that Say network is building in a bear market, and Say network is how is your process? How is your process in parallel with your roadmap, and what's your long-term strategy to alive in this bear market?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. Building in a bear market, it provides its challenges, but it also provides its opportunities, I would say. The focus at say, bear market or bull market kind of stays the same. It's focusing on, our core vision, our principles that we have aligned since the beginning and we have stuck to, which is, continuing to try to build the best possible infrastructure for trading applications, essentially. And throughout the past few months, the focus has always been the same. Maybe some things will change on a smaller level, whether it's like implementing new things into the tech stack or focusing on different campaigns for the community and ecosystem. But overall, the goal, the roadmap stays the same, and it's really just about building for our end users. Thinking about how we can most empower our developers and our ecosystem players. Kind of like I mentioned before, just always making sure we have close communications and transparency with our developers, with our ecosystem projects, and with our community members to continue to ensure that we're empowering them. We are setting up a framework and like a foundational layer for them to thrive. I think that's like the main focus here. It's like, and I think one of the things that makes me most excited about the Say ecosystem right now is that when you look across DeFi, NFTs, and gaming, we have these core players, essentially core protocols that are all building for use cases that have already kind of proven product market fit within crypto and Web3, and are very dedicated, are very legitimate teams that are laying this groundwork. That, you know, whether it's a gaming publisher like Tatami, or whether it's an NFT marketplace and launchpad like Mizu, this is like that foundational layer that both other developers will need to come and build on top of, but also giving the community a hub to interact with one another, to learn from each other. I think that that's one of the things that makes me most excited for the future of SEI, is that kind of the groundwork is really setting up SEI to thrive in the future, and to allow our developers to build really cool applications.
Yeah, from my opinion, I think that in this moment to acquire the user is really hard for the new project, and especially for layer one, because there's a lot of big layer one in this market right now. But I can see that the growth speed of SEI is very like impressive. So yeah, I think that SEI is a very promising layer one in the future. And uh, let's move to the next questions. These users want to ask Steven, he said that currently GaFin target to the esports users, but how can GaFin use the Web3 technologies to bring the unique gaming experience, and what is the difference between the game in Web2 and Web3? So that is the questions.
Yeah, just clarify, we don't focus in the esports community. We don't limit it the Web3 user or the traditional user or the esports user. We focus the next generation of the blockchain, and we focus the real player, core player, like Philip mentioned. And our product, if our community have take a look at our product and our function, we have the easily US and your USUI experience for user. User can be logged in by their email, right? For the user, and we have the NFT marketplace. And the difference here is we not just sell Pi, we not just sell the NFT, we sell the traditional in-game item by cryptocurrency. I think this year, one important thing to be convert the Web2 user to Web3 user and esports community. We focus in the next generation of blockchain. We not focus the esports, not just focus esports community or Web3 community. Yeah. And I think our product and game hub or quest system is valuable for the traditional user want to be jump in the blockchain industry. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So currently, as my research, I can see that Say Network have Say Network is target to the DeFi, but there's some of the game project have been built on Say already. But I can see that the number of game is not very large at this moment. So do Say Network have a plan to scale up or want to like attract more traditional games?
Starting, you know, you're not seeing as many projects, but you're seeing very high quality kind of like foundational projects, I would say. And this will lead to exponential growth within the number of games, the number of developers, because, you know, the developers will come where they have the most tools and the most resources to build. So that's kind of the focus there. I think it's in the beginning, especially when you're in the early days of a layer one, it's more about having a few very high quality projects that are empowering the entire ecosystem. So whether it be like a marketplace, a launch pad, you know, a gaming publisher, focusing on those like very important foundational applications first, ensuring that they're very high quality, because ultimately that's what will bring in more games and more developers. It's better to have, you know, that 1 to 5 very strong projects in the beginning versus, you know, 20 to 15, or like 15 to 20 you know, like mediocre projects, I would say. So that's kind of like an explanation of like the path ahead for a lot of our different ecosystems right now.
Your milk, Brian, your milk.
Okay, I'm sorry. So currently, say is very promising in the future based on your technology, but currently there's a lot of players want to get more project and get more games on their layer. So to say network have any policies or any promotion to support and push the builders to build the game on say.
Yeah, I mean, like we'll have a bunch of like I guess like incentives and campaigns to further attract people into the space, working directly with the players within our ecosystem. It all comes down again to like empowering the people that are looking to build within our ecosystem for us to grow together. So the answer is 100% yes. Across all of the different kind of stakeholders, whether it's developers and encouraging them with or incentivizing them with grants or developer support, or additionally, community members thinking about, how can we orient our ambassador program, which, is currently live, or a handful of different ecosystem campaigns to further empower the community. So yeah, very excited for kind of all of those different layers.
Okay, very interesting. So I think that you can send me the information later in the chat, so I can apply for grants and other promotion from say. Okay, and one I think we can have time for one last questions for maybe Steven. So Steven, there's one user asked you that. Currently, they can see that GaFin is expand a lot in APAC market, but does GaFin have a plan to scale up to more like difficult market, like Japanese market or some like a little bit hard market to get the users? Do you have any plan for that?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Currently, we not just focus. I think clarify now. We focus the same market. We focus the Philippines, Indo, Vietnam, and Thailand currently right now. But we have the plan, and we preparing for the expand the market in the Japan and Korea and US, and we have the strategies for that. Last example, if I want to expand the Korea, I have the Netmarble. If I want to be expand the US, I have the Exola. Yeah, this is our core partner and potential partner to be help us to expand and scale the market. And beside that, we have the ambassador program for our community, for the esports community to become the ambassador for GaFin, to reach out, be our PD, our team, join to our team, and help us to to easy reach out the local community like Korea and Japan. We have the ambassador program for the different country where it's English not good, like India. Yeah.
Okay. So Stephen have bring some proof about the partners ecosystem that GaFin have connect with, and how is the strategy for each country that we will target to. So I think that we have go through a lot of questions, and a lot of great insight come from Philip and Steven. So I think that the MA is a little bit long, and we can stop the AMA right now, waiting for another AMA to meet you guys again. So do you have any last word to talk with GaFin communities? I think let Philip share first.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. It's been an awesome space. Really cool to be a part of this. Just for anyone that's looking to kind of learn more about SEI, I think like a good immediate step would be just to follow the SEI official account. Always kind of posting a lot of updates about the ecosystem. You can also follow me as well. I'm kind of like a spokesperson for the ecosystem, sharing a lot of the cool things that our community members and builders are doing. And if you're looking to get a little bit more involved within the community, you can always join our ambassador program. It's called Atlantis. It's for people from any region across the world, and it's really focused on just empowering you throughout like your Web3 journey, helping you grow and grow within the ecosystem, connect with other like-minded people. So really encourage anyone to go hop in the SEI Discord and just start getting involved within our ambassador program. But yeah, thanks again. It's been a great Twitter space.
Yeah, so anyone, if you want to be in charge, a part of SEI, you can apply for ambassador program, and maybe I will drop the link after this AMA for you guys if you want to apply. And how about Steven? I remember GaFin is having ambassador program also. So can you have any last word for the communities, and what is your feelings about the AMA today?
Yeah. Thank you for invite for me, and thank you, Philip, to be joined with us today. And I think in the so far in the futures, we have the many activity and many campaign for our community right now. So I think glad to be here right now, and and stay tuned, and our community to be stay tuned in the near future to receive the value and benefit from the GaFin side. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you guys for attending to the AMA today. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Steven. And we hope that I hope that we can have more like AMA events like this, or a postcard, or some event that we can talk together in the near future. So thank you for AMA today. So I think that we can end the AMA right now. Yeah, see you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. See you. Have a great rest of your
Keep
day.
in touch. Yeah.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye.